Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orly Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you are a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. Dottie, how are you doing today?
Hi, Orly. I am doing really, really good. We're in the middle of summer, but we've got a subject today that we're really looking to the future, right?
Yeah, like we're not trying to rush through the summer. We know it's just starting, but just like we got ready for summer, we talked about that a few months back. We're going to talk about fall, getting ready for fall, whether it's, getting stuff ready for your leagues, what you need to get ready for your leagues, whether it's maintenance tips, whether it's, things to get parts, just everything. And I know, I was never in a center that did leagues, but I know you were, Dottie, and I'm sure there is a long list of things you need to get ready to be ready for the fall.
Yeah. Orly, actually, in the bowling industry, there's just a lot of prep that needs to be done in order for you to do things successfully. You want to have a well thought out plan for anything, and that includes upcoming fall leagues, for example. So ideally, the summertime is a great time to make sure that you are doing everything that you need so that when the end of August, the 1st of September rolls around, you are going to be able to successfully floor full house of leagues. So that's the game plan, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of things go into that. Now, there's a lot of things that, the name of our podcast is Seeds of Success. So today we're going to sprinkle these little seeds around of things that you need to be thinking about during the summertime that's really going to help you to prepare for your fall leagues going on the floor. And I want to take a step back, Orly, if we can, just a second. One of the things, and here we are, we are into summertime, but, most of us have summer leagues on the floor. Most centers have some semblance of a summer league on the floor. Maybe they're just social leagues or whatever. But we want to always make sure that when leagues are coming to an end, that we are ending those leagues on a really great note, because we want those people, those bowlers, to come back to us. And so I always like to recommend, in the springtime, that you are thinking about what are you going to do at the end of your fall league to make sure that they're ending that league on a great note. So even to the point of, if you're going to, get something new scoring or something else new that's going to be relevant to them, to do it before they get off the floor, right? So they get a taste of it, so they can't wait to come back.
Yeah, and if they did a summer fun league, they might have just got into it like, I'm not super competitive. And then after that summer fun league, they might be like, hey, I think I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to get into some real leagues. So yeah, it's the time to snag those people and let them know they're welcome to come on over.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that, that leads me to talk a little bit about the fact you mentioned, a fun league, a social league. As you are putting your fall leagues together and looking at your schedule, it's really important that you offer something for everybody. There's all sorts of skill levels. There's all sorts of needs and desires and what people want to get out of being in a league. And so, take a look at what you've got and ask yourself, do you have something that's appealing to everybody? The bowler that, only in it for the social aspect of it, just to come out and have a good time. Do you have, the highly competitive that are out to better their game? Do you have learning leagues? Do you have kids leagues? Do you have moms leagues? So take a look. Diversity is great. And you have so many things that you can pull from these days to put in place for a league to offer something for everybody in the group.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about leagues, but is there other things you want to get ready? I mean, obviously, there might be some kind of maintenance things you want to get ready, but even maybe like menu. Do you want to change up your menu sometimes for the fall? If that's the case, that might be something you start doing also.
Yes, you're so right. This is a great time to go to your menu, your restaurant menu, and look at what you have. There are reports that you can pull within your system if you are a Cubica AMF customer. You can pull reports like the what's hot and what's not, and evaluate that report and see what is it that's selling, what isn't selling. Those things that aren't selling, maybe it's time to boot them out, right? Get rid of them. Put something else on the menu that's more appealing and more attractive. And I'm gonna deviate from this just a little bit and say, if you have a food service provider, leverage those people. BPAA has a partnership with Cisco. Cisco does a great job at coming out and working with you to look at what's trending, what items you can successfully prepare in your environment. And they're willing to make suggestions. They're willing to help you with your menu. They can look at your reports and make suggestions of things that you can pair together and things like that. So I would say definitely look at your menu. And it's always good to add something new, right?
Yeah.
So look at those opportunities as well.
And I did mention like maintenance, and making sure things are ready for those fall leagues. What would you say are the top, few things that you definitely want to take a look into before the fall leagues start?
Well, first of all, it's a really good time to just take a look around and look at the condition of everything. Are there, potholes in the parking lot that need to be filled right now? Are there marks on the walls? Does the carpet need cleaning? Does the tile need, stripping and waxing? All of those are things that, we need to have on some sort of a maintenance calendar, and we need to be doing on a routine basis so that our centers are always well maintained and fresh and neat and clean. It's also a good opportunity to, this is the time where you go through, you look at your pins, and you've got your normal rotation of your pins. So what is your plan? When are you putting the new set of pins in so that they, are acclimated before you start your fall league bowling? All of those things go into play, but they need to be happening right now. The other thing that I want to throw out is, fall brings many of the staff members that bowling centers have on their team are students, and that, sometimes can create a problem. They're getting ready to go back to school, and some of them aren't able to keep their job. And so now's the time to discover that. Gives you ample opportunity to get those new people trained and, get them familiar with your way of doing business and your level of service that you want to deliver to the customers now, rather than throw them in a day or two on the job training and then expect them to sink or swim. So, and then keep in mind, right, Orly, we've learned, you and I talk to customers all the time, and we've talked to a lot of customers that have incorporated kiosk into their operating business. Yeah. And there is that opportunity for you to kind of pull up that slack when you're missing an employee, or, you have a position that needs to be filled. You can drive business to the kiosk to make up that deficit, either long-term or short-term. So that's always something good to fall back on.
Yeah, we talked about that, I think, on a previous show. But yeah, if someone sees kind of a long line at the concession, they might not go up there to grab a drink right away, a soda or some snacks. But if they see that kiosk just sitting there waiting to take an order, they're going to get at a line. They know they could get back before their next turn. They're going to use that kiosk to their advantage. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
You said, it's like having another employee. It's going to help bring the other line down, and it's just going to overall help everyone.
Yeah, and if you have a cashier that's getting ready to go back to school, and you haven't found that person to fill, that position, then certainly don't hesitate to just close down the cashier, line, and drive that traffic to the kiosk, because it is just as capable of taking those food orders as a new hire.
Yeah,
and they're already
like
trained.
You like to say, it's not going to call in sick, right?
That's it. That's my favorite thing about a kiosk. Oh gosh. Well, Orly, I think this says, hopefully we've sprinkled a few seeds around, and there's a lot of other things that go into it. Planning is essential. So if you don't already have some of these things planned, listeners, pull out the old legal pad and start writing down what your objective is and how you're going to accomplish that, because planning does pay off every single time.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, before you know it, it's, fall is going to be here. You have to plan early, because you never know, if something you have to order or something you have to get ready is not in, out of stock, or just anything like that. You just have to be ready, or else that time's going to come up and then you're going to be behind. So,
yeah. And speaking of ordering, birthday parties, we know birthday parties, they start to increase in September when school starts back. Make sure, do you have your birthday party hostesses trained? Do you have enough party supplies in place? Do you have your program set and proper expectations set with your hostesses? Those are things that need to be going on now. to be able to plan for this for the fall. Well, Orly, I think this has been very informative. I hope that our listeners can take at least one little thing and say, you know what, I had forgotten about that. I do have to do that. And maybe we will keep them on track to have a more successful fall. So listeners, thank you so much for joining us this week for another episode of Seeds of Success. Our goal, again, is to equip you with practical tips, ideas, and trends that's going to help your center grow and achieve new levels of success. Remember to share this podcast with your entire team. The more seeds you plant, the bigger the crop. Until next time, keep growing your business one happy customer at a time.